Hello, hello, hello. if I start coughing, then that means I'm like sick right now. Yeah, I just gotta let you guys know. Okay, so there was like this. Okay, okay, so I like watch like this like Timothy movie, which it was pretty mid. It was mid. I didn't really care about it. And then the thing I remembered was there's this movie, this like other movie where based off this like one where like this one. Yeah, it was this one. Okay. Where where this like engine just falls and dies, and then boom, shit happens. Now I am going to be watching it for clout. Anyways, let's get started. This 3 hour long movie. Yep, it is 3 hours. God damn. I don't know what situation I put myself in, but fuck. Oh yeah, it's also made by Silver Knight 925. Up there's the sound. Wait, hold up.
It was raining on the night of Halloween
Alright, we
on
got
the
this set.
Captain Southwestern Railroad. Sitting quietly was ex-Clinchfield 311, an old 482 Mountain steam engine. She was to take a train of log cars from Kempton to Black Wolf Logging Camp and then deliver another train on the return journey. Earlier that morning, weather reports issued several storm warnings that was coming through that evening and throughout most of the day. It had been raining lightly, but this was only the early sign of the bad weather approaching.
Well, old girl, it looks like we've got a storm coming in.
Just my luck. Having to take this train and then take another one down the mountain in a storm.
Don't you worry. I'm confident you'll make it without trouble.
Confidence. That seems to be the only
How many views does this video have? Ah, under 1 million. Good.
thing that keeps me going.
Wait, this is 2018? Jesus fucking Christ. I thought. Please read. Okay, no.
Despite what the others say.
Hey, no matter what happens, the manager will not let those fools touch you. Not as long as he, or me, or your fireman are here.
You're the only ones who have shown me sympathy ever since I came here, and I'm grateful for it. So what's our arrival time back in Campton?
Our arrival is 1 a.m., right on the dot.
Right.
I think
Let's
you
get
should
rolling.
begin. just test. No. Okay, I'm gonna test if this audio works. Yep. Yep, the audio is working.
During the run, 311 was doing very well, traveling 15 miles per hour, the correct speed to travel on the Miller River Canyon. It was still raining lightly, now beginning to follow with the rumble sound of thunder and whistling winds. They arrived at the logging camp at Black Wolf Mountain right on time.
Wait, hold up. This ghost is supposed to be American, but like then we just transitioned into the island of Sodor, which is like, you know, located in Britain. Huh.
After being serviced and checked over by her crew, 311 was preparing to take the other train of locked cars back to Campton. However, there was a short delay as the signal that gave them the all clear malfunctioned.
This narrator is just like, one day on the island of Sodor.
It was repaired, but this only had made 311 late for her return journey.
Ugh, this rain is almost hard to see through. It's unsafe, and knowing how dangerous this line is in these conditions, it's almost suicidal.
We'll be home as quick as we can after we've delivered these logs. But remember what I said. I'm confident that we'll make it out of here and be home free.
God, that camera moving. That was so frustrating to
The
watch.
storm had gotten more worse.
Hold up. Timothy fell off like, you know, a viaduct, and this engine just fell off like a bridge, which basically a viaduct and a bridge are the exact same thing.
Worse for cause of major flash floods, loosening large rocks and trees from the banks, causing them to plunge into the raging rapids below, pulling them downstream.
What should I do?
I still question how an engine falling causes, you know, a fucking nuclear power plant to explode, or just like you know, like the power of that. Like I question how that's going to happen. I question how that happens. Anyways,
No word of 311 at Campton was heard the next day. As the minutes turned into hours, great concern grew and crews were dispatched to a search and rescue operation. When they came across the Miller River, they saw that the bridge had collapsed. They searched
No, it didn't. There's still half of it. Only like one half of it fell.
toward the river. There was no indication that a train may have gone over it. Other than the bridge itself, whatever happened to 311 and its crew, they had vanished into thin air.
She evaporated. Man, what a glorious day outside. Ah! Fuck.
After a new and stronger bridge was constructed, strange events began to occur.
Ah, fuck a diesel. It's just a wise old owl. Woo, boo, boo, choo, choo. Don't be afraid of the dark. Hey, diesel, you say to see that things go pop in the night. Boo.
A year after the accident, a freight train was heading towards the same place where 311 had disappeared.
Is that fucking Thomas and the Magic Railroad music? No, it's not. False alarm, people. False alarm.
The engineer and the locomotive claimed
Oh no! Not the red light! Oh fuck!
to have seen a headlight, hearing a
Where did the fucking background go? Where's the sky? What? Are we in the black void now? What the fuck?
bell ring and a whistle
We're only 7 minutes into this. Out of a 3-hour and 20 minutes movie. Oh,
sounded.
what is the director's cut?
But then they all vanished together without a trace.
I forgot that was the main plot of this story, where like if you see that engine, you disappear. AKA, she has all the Infinity Stones and will snap Earth away as well.
Many reports of similar events throughout the decades soon followed. People and engines alike would report seeing an engine trying to make it over to the other side of the bridge.
And every year of the date of the accident, she once again she ran once again like a warning to others, plunging into the gap, shrieking like a lost soul. Percy, what are you talking about?
But never does.
Fucking rusty story. And many workmen will tell you.
According to the legend,
And many workmen will tell you. Okay, fuck this shit. I'm getting a snack. Fuck. Nothing to eat. Fuck. Nothing good to eat. God damn it. Is there anything? Nothing? Yes, I'll die. Wait, hold on, I think we'll get that other. Bag of chips. Oh, fuck. All right. I'm back.
If you walk alone on the mountain line of the Highland Valley Company Railroad in the fall, you might just hear the cry of a whistle in the wind. If you're brave enough to walk the line during the thunderstorm on Halloween, you might just get a glimpse of a 482 with a blood-red lamp as it flares past you, its whistling screaming into the distance, only to vanish
Man, she heard a funny joke by Seth MacFarlane himself. Don't question why Seth MacFarlane.
Oh, it must be Gordon on his way back from Vickerstown. Oh? What the? Who in the name of Smokebucks and Pistons are you?
It's not. Oh God! The wise old owl. Woo-hoo, boo, boo,
It
choo,
can't
choo.
be! That's my great-grandfather's engine!
Convenience. Woo!
I'm not surprised. I remember
You sick? She doesn't have a filter.
you back when you were just a child. Count your lucky stars, boy, for you're not on the wanted list.
Shit! I need to get on the wanted list. Walter? What? Walter? What?
Count my lucky stars?
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You only got 9, you son of a bitch!
Your great-grandfather was once a good man.
Someone whom many thought was a friend. But his mistrust ended up costing his life thanks to that engine on the CSW years ago. And do you know why? Because I was that engine!
With the summer season at its end, the arrival of autumn soon made its presence known on the island of Sodor. The engines of the Northwestern Railway were working hard with great pride. However, this particular autumn season had brought some new visitors to the island over from America. The visitors were two engines from the Norfolk and West.
Oh my god, convenience. Plus, is this like a Hank situation where they have to remake it so it can just, the American engine can fit on the fucking UK track?
They were David, the sole surviving 2664 Class A, number 1218, and Luis, a restored class of the J locomotives. Along with them came Ariel, a surviving 440 from the Pennsylvania Railroad, Luke, a 210-4 from the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad, and Jason, a replica of a 28884 triplex locomotive from the Erie Railroad. The Fat Controller had given them a special visit to spend the autumn season on the railway and to allow the public to get their chance to see what these massive locomotives were like in their day.
The butler came in.
To the engines themselves, they found the people to be among the most amazing and respectful rail fans of all time. Even the Fat Controller's engines agreed with that statement.
It appears I missed something while watching. Thomas was
Rosie,
everywhere.
Thomas, Emily, Gordon, and Edward were talking to David, Luis, and
Oh my fucking god. Yeah, they probably had to do some shit. Holy shit.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Jack. Oh, man! Gordon always pulled the big kick.
It always comes back to food with me.
He was proud of his grandson.
and Ariel about supernatural stories that had happened on the railway over the years.
Your railroad is full of all kinds of unknown and ghostly things that are full of mysteries.
And not to mention, some are just as scarier as the ones we've encountered back at home in the United States.
You can say that again, Louise.
What's it like over there? None of us have ever been to the railways you run on.
Please tell us.
It ain't like what you have here.
Gordon, what happened to your voice? Holy shit.
The railways in America are much longer and bigger, and we engines can do more work than any others. We pull much heavier passenger and freight trains and can go long distances. But at times we have to let diesels help us out for dynamic braking. The other engines were impressed.
Is there anything out of the supernatural, like any legends or ghost stories that have been told on the rails?
We've had several, but none of them would ever scare you.
Well, I'll accept the curse of the clinch field.
Don't bring that up, Louise. She might come here and curse these locals.
Them would ever
What?
scare you.
Well, I'll accept The curse of the clinch field.
Don't bring.
Insert Mr. Krabs holding the smallest violin, and then just like fucking Squilliam in the corner playing the like biggest violin. Is that just a fucking cello?
I'll accept the curse of the clinch field.
Don't bring that up, Louis.
You fucking fucking Hell's Kitchen. Fuck. Fuck.
Louise, she might come here and curse these locals and their railroad.
Who will?
Who's Clinchfield?
Gordon, I know you're a big engine, but you need to get a better mic, which is literally not you, just in an airplane with like all the windows open.
What curse?
Oh, now you've gone and done it. We promised to never mention it to the others, or you know what might happen.
The engines looked at each other with curiosity and interest, wanting to know very badly. The three American locomotives had no other choice but to tell them.
The engine that comes from this story is legendary and very haunted.
You mean like the untold story of Timothy that we
Fuck! Thomas, we established this. That never happened.
told you about?
You could say that, but this one has been talked about for almost 6 decades. And
6 decades? Okay, so. God damn it. Not so much stuff which I don't know
everyone
shit
in
about.
America knows about it. Many steam engines and diesels had their own strange and dark tales, but this engine is the mother of all ghost stories on the railroad.
You could say that again.
Clinchfield 311.
Clinchfield 311?
Yet
That doesn't
again.
ring any bells to me, for it's an unfamiliar name.
None of you have ever heard of her until now. She was an old 482 mountain type local.
Does anyone remember that like one like video where like Rosie like went through like dreams and like ended up in one where like fucking Edward like died or something? Do you guys remember that? I'm making recommended Sammy Clark videos. I'm just gonna continue on with this video.
Locomotive built in 1949 serving the Campton Southwestern Railroad. She had been with the company for about 5 months, but her history was very troubled.
Insert like, okay, take a train crash. Like the engine is standing right up, and then put the X right in front of it, and boom, you got a spicy meme, which only people who play Trains New Era will get.
She had a bad luck streak. It almost led to her scrapping, but she was sent to work on the Clinchfield. However, it only got worse after arriving in Colorado. 311 was what railroad men called a hoodooed or jinx locomotive, meaning that she was a rolling disaster waiting to happen whether she liked it or not. During her career with the Clinchfield, she had unintentionally injured and killed 20 railroad men, and all because of this jinx. Because of all this, 311 was yanked off the Clinch roster in late 1956 and
I'm gonna go get my charger. Okay.
and was placed in an unused storage track in Elkhorn Shop Complex, where she awaited her fate. But that was not to be, for she was saved by the manager of the CSW, where he was in search of a large freight locomotive to handle the lumber contract at the time. After lengthy negotiations, the Elkhorn Yardmaster finally gave the manager the 311 for free. After that, she was restored to working order and moved out west under her own power. And remarkably, there were no incidents during the 1,369.3 mile cross country run. For the first time in a long time, 311 had a bright future, now being owned by a railroad that cared about her.
Well, thank goodness she didn't get sent away for scrapping. That's how I lost all my LMEI brothers and sisters.
Gordon, I just like to question why one of your eyebrows is just chopped off.
All except one survived, and I know how sad I felt.
What about the other engines who worked there on Clinchfield? Were any of them friends with 311?
Yes, there were. My driver had recently made a discovery 2 months ago before we came here. He was clearing out the yardmaster's desk at the now closed Irwin, Tennessee yard when he discovered an old...
You're sick wallet.
Out the yardmaster's desk at the now closed Irwin, Tennessee yard when he discovered an...
I need water. I'm dying. I really fucking hate this so far, but I decided to put myself through this, and also for some good content.
An old picture taken back at Dante, Virginia in 1952. The photo showed engines 311 and 150 sitting outside the Dante Roundhouse. It was then that my driver had...
Sorry. So much shit is like...
had found out about the relation her and the Pacific
what's the budget on this one singular penny?
locomotive had. Just like the men who distrusted the engine due to the jinx that was hanging on to her, the engine started to do the same thing, and they kept their distance as well, fearing that they too would be jinxed. However, Engine 150 was not like them at all and was still 311's closest friend. They first met back in 1950 when 311 arrived on the Clinchfield. They formed a tight bond with each other over time and had been friends ever since that day. Even when the curse was at its worst, 150 was always there for her, even after the CSW had bought her in order to start a new career. You could say the 150 was her light in the darkness that kept her shrouded.
Well, it's good to know that there was someone to be there for her.
So, was 311's bad luck streak over?
It seemed to have been. For the first few weeks of operation, everything went smoothly. But the curse soon made its presence known once again, and that's when almost everyone on the Campton Southwestern Railroad grew into mistrust in 311. She couldn't understand it herself, no matter what. Something was out of her control, and no one could ever tell the real reason. Deep down inside, she was very lonely. Her only real friends were her driver, fireman, and the manager. They did what they could to help 311, but to the others, including the dadgum company's president of CSW, she was a liability that needed to be put down. Just then,
what did they do? Put her down? What the fuck?
Luke came onto the turntable, overhearing the entire conversation.
You're talking about the story of 311?
God damn it! Fuck! God damn it, I forgot he was in this! No! Fuck! God damn, why? Why? No, fuck. Okay. Okay. We're only 20 minutes in this. Fucking hell. Fine, I'll continue, but only for clout.
Yes, we are. Do you know about the story?
Yeah, I really question who was like, I'll be Gordon, and she's like, "Ah, ah, ah."
Indeed, I do. I remember it very well, and it's very haunting. Though it's intriguing.
It's very haunting, but you want to know. it is it's just like Toby and Thomas and the Magic Railroad are just like, I'm afraid he might kill us all, while he's just like having like, he's just like, smiling out of his ass.
Intriguing for me to see that you engines of Sodor are so interested in hearing about it.
It's something that we're all into.
What we would really like to know is where, in fact, does the story of 311 really take place?
The story, ironic as it may seem, takes place on Halloween night, October 31st, 1957. Clinchfield 311 departed the logging camp with a logging...
How do they know this shit? That's just my one question. How the fuck do they know this shit? No, nothing was saw of them. The driver and fireman were both found dead. Well, both of them were literally disappeared from existence. And the other ones were just like, oh yeah, she moved to this railway, that railway, this one, and that. And then this one knows everything which happened.
Logging train into the mountain and started the down descent.
What happened? This fucking bitch told him?
Not long after she left, the weather changed for the worse. It was one of the worst storms in U.S. history, with flash floods being reported.
Yo, Alexa, what was the worst storm in U.S. history? Being ignored by some son of a bitch!
Reported everywhere along the line.
God.
The Miller River Bridge was the last bridge between the mountain line and the safety of the yard. However, the flash flood had loosened large rocks and trees from the banks, causing them to plummet into the raging rapids below. Since the bridge was made out of wood at the time, the force of the water and debris slowly took out the supports. The speed through the Miller River Canyon was 15 miles per hour at the time, but 311 was running late, so the driver had the throttle open, doing 30 miles per hour down the grade. When they were starting to cross the bridge, its supports finally gave, and it collapsed, taking the train along with its crew into the river below.
Whenever I see the X's, I just like... It's just funny. I don't know how.
The following day, a rescue was carried out, and they found total devastation. The location of the wreck hasn't been located, and perhaps never will. 311's remains have not been seen either. It was like she had vanished into thin air. After a new bridge was built, a series of bizarre events soon occurred, and thus the legend of the ghost engine was born. It is said that on Black Wolf Mountain, there lives a spirit, cursing to ride the rails for all eternity, reappearing only once a year on Halloween night, forever doomed to repeat its fate. While it is said to be only a ghost story, the engines of Black Wolf Central will tell you otherwise.
But many workmen will tell you.
Ever since the night of October 31st, 1957, over and over again, once every year, the spirit...
On March 31st, Mario will be publicly assassinated. Does anyone remember that meme? You guys better.
Of 311, otherwise known as the Demon 311.
666! Okay. Okay, fuck you all. I'm gonna go to Hell's headquarters. I wanna go to Hell's house. See ya.
coming from the mountain, or can be seen sitting there, shining her
She's just standing there, menacingly! Ah!
ghostly red headlight at you, and whooshing ghostly red steam.
Which is basically normal steam from Steam.
Or thundering by where the accident occurred, trying
Screen mode
to cross the bridge, but she never reaches the other side.
Oh God, Gordon turned into a racist. Wait, so this takes place in 2017. So.
Have any of you seen Spirit of 311? I'm very curious to know, just in case any of us were to.
We have seen her, but we had lucky escapes. What she does is terrifying.
She literally grabs you sexual style and busts it down.
That's why we found it too frightening to tell you.
She grabs you and goes down sexual style.
CSX Transportation, or CSX for short,
CSX
runs the route today, and the ghost of 311 hunts the tracks. If there was ever an engine with the same number on it, she would think that it's disgracing her own and would run right into that engine, and then it, along with 311, would never be seen or heard from again.
What is this? Stealing a Sonic OC? OC, do not steal! Ah!
311 has been trapped on that mountain for 59 years. This year will mark the 60th anniversary of the accident.
Oh, how convenient.
US engines back in the States have seen her whenever we've gone up that mountain, but not the way she once was. She looks terrifying and evil with the personality of a demon. Luke, Louise, and I have heard her bell ringing and her whistle shrieking. And we heard her voice, but we were lucky not to encounter her face to face. Otherwise, we would not be here today.
Just how evil is this ghost engine?
What the fuck is the ballast? Where the fuck is the ballast? Where's the gravel? Where's anything?
Knowing what I went through with Timothy 2 years ago, I think this one
Wait, this is 2 years ago? What?
is much worse and more demonic. I certainly don't want to even think of coming face to face with 311.
Likewise.
Otherwise, she'll grab you and...
But I deeply hope that someday this lost engine will find peace and move on.
That has never happened, I'm afraid. Very few have ever attempted to help 311, but no one has succeeded and ended up being killed by her.
What?
Now you can use that as...
311, but no one has succeeded and ended up being killed by her.
What?
Me opening Twitter after 10 years. Shut the fuck up, Gordon. Shut up.
Does what?
She fucks them in the ass. Because while being dead, she grew a dick.
Is that part of the curse of the Mountains of Worship?
Okay, guys, I'm gonna go to Kildane. No, not my friend Kildane. I'm gonna go do a ritual at Kildane. Okay, I'm back.
Is resting?
Luke, Ariel, David, and Louise only eyed at them worryingly and replied. The engines couldn't say anything, but they could sense they were not alone anymore.
Yeah, no shit!
Soon the subject of Clinchfield 311 spread down the line, but no one could decide whether to believe it or not. As the old saying goes, things aren't always as they seem.
Ah, fuck. Yo, Thomas, shut up.
Hi there, Luke. Look, about last night. It wasn't wrong of us to hear about that story, was it?
No, Thomas, but it was risky in telling you. Not that many have asked to be told about the ghost of 311. It takes great bravery
Oh.
to do that. Now, there's no telling me whether she'll come, but one thing's for sure. She will make herself known.
Luke! It happened again! I saw her
Not again!
last night while I was delivering my freight train. She came right past me,
Moan.
ringing her bell.
You mean you saw...
Yes, Luke. It's unbelievable. But the curse has struck again. Who would have thought it would happen here on this railway that's not even related to ours back in the States?
You saw the ghost. How does this curse go? I'm asking this because I'm starting to fear the worst.
For a small little tank engine like yourself, you sure are a brave one. It starts to rain and the fog rolls in. If you hear the bell or a whistle, you better shut your eyes and try and block it.
For a few seconds, I thought he was going to say, shit your pants and run. That would have been funny.
Out the sound. However, if you see the Demon 311, just remember, you cannot run, you cannot hide.
Yo, you can't run from Sonic on EXE?
You will be found, but will never live to tell the tale.
So would that mean if me or any of the engines saw her, then...
Yeah, that's how it goes. But despite what I said, run like hell, and for any scrappers on this island, beware of the red lamp, for you'll never know when the ghost of Black Wolf Mountain will show herself.
No, I wish none of us has ever heard about that story now.
No, that's Scarlocket. Bertram. Scarlois, look out! It's the P. Scarlois, look out! It's some more.
As the weeks went by, the subject of 311 seemed to be forgotten. Until one
They forgot.
misty night when Gordon was pulling the late night express.
Stop! There's another engine in front of me! Driver, brakes! Now! What on earth? What happened? Where'd it go?
What's the matter, Goran? Did you see something?
That face explains everything right now.
I saw another engine up ahead, but due to the bright light, which almost blinded me, I couldn't tell what it was, but sure, it was sitting right there.
The crew became skeptical and told the guard who had just ran up asking why the train had stopped. Gordon told him what happened, and he too became skeptical on the situation. The crew looked around, but they found nothing.
Is this
Bitch, go on with the train! You're gonna be late!
some sort of joke? We looked around, but we haven't found anything. Are you sure you weren't seeing things?
I wouldn't joke about something as serious as this. I saw what I saw.
Was being watched from
Post. Things will go bump in the night. Rubbish!
behind. He later told the other engines what he had seen.
You thought you saw lights? Surely you must have been hallucinating.
Hallucinating? Rubbish, Henry! I saw what I saw. There was lights on my line!
Did anyone else see them?
No one that I know of. I mean, my crew didn't see them.
You were hallucinating. Be honest.
For the last time, Henry, I was not hallucinating! Oh, dear God, give me some patience.
Maybe you weren't hallucinating, Gordon. Maybe you were. We don't know. All we know is you thought you saw another engine on the line, but you never collided into anything.
I was not Oh, never mind. Forget I said anything.
Over on the Little Western, Oliver was delivering his final train of the day. He was well ahead of schedule, having left the top station 20 minutes early. He soon reached Tidmouth Halt to drop off passengers. Just then it started raining, followed by mist rolling in with the air growing colder. But then he heard the ringing of a bell and a deep-toned whistle.
There's a ghost engine!
Who in the name of Great Western was that? An engine of that size can't even run on the Little Western. And it
Finally! Some realism!
wasn't British either. It was
Oh my god! Not the Americans! Fuck!
American.
From what I could see, it looked like the ghost of 311.
How the fuck does this British coach know about an American locomotive? I have no idea, but only 30 minutes into this, and we're like an hour into the stream.
I'd heard about it from one of our passengers who was telling a story of an accident that happened in America many years ago.
I want to die.
Meanwhile, Duck was waiting at Tidmouth Station with Alice and Mirabelle.
It's a bit misty out tonight, girls. We'd best get home quickly. You never know when the weather will take a turn for the worst.
You're a ghost.
What are you on about?
Nothing at all.
Well, it's just... Just what?
Say what?
We heard from Isabel and Dulcie about that 311 ghost.
What on pseudo are you two on about? There's no such thing as 311 or ghosts in general.
What about Dulcie and Mr. Clark? Remember that 3 years ago in 2014?
Not 2014!
Okay, I'll give you that. But other than that, there are no ghost engines whatsoever. Besides, even if there was such a thing as 311, which there isn't, it would be too big to run on this branch line. Remember when Gordon took that tumble on the old branch line in 2002?
Not 2002.
That just shows that tender engines larger than either Donald or Douglas and Edward can't run on them. It's too dangerous. What on earth?
She's here! She's real! And she's coming this way!
Who?
The ghost of 311!
Don't be daft, girls. There is no such thing as...
Oh, it's the bell!
What on earth?
What can you see, Duck?
I don't believe it. Red headlamps? Red steam?
Open your eyes, would you don't it's 311!
Your carriage friend is right. You better beware of your surroundings.
Fuck. Ow. 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 No, don't that. No. Ow. Ow. Oh.
Surroundings from now on. Be lucky that my business isn't with you. But I won't. Next time, I won't be so courteous.
Okay, we're in the clear. Oh my god, why? Fuck!
The next day at Knapford Station, Oliver and Gordon were still shaken up by last night's events.
Whoa, looks like you've seen 311 in person.
So that's who it was. No matter I could see the number due to the bright lights.
I heard the bell and whistle before seeing the engine itself, and then it vanished into the mist.
But something doesn't seem right. You two are still here and not gone.
I just noticed that myself. Because you said that if
you just noticed
any of us get accounted with the 311, none of us will be around anymore after seeing it. But yet, me and Oliver are still here.
David, Louise, and Ariel were very confused. Over at the Royal Central Terminal, North...
God, what? Wait. Why did the brightness just change? God, that's such a major difference.
Over at the Royal Central Terminal, north of Vickerstown, but just before Barrow, Emily was telling James about what Gordon experienced that night. The Red Engine was amazed, but he soon dismissed the thought, although it briefly reminded him about that one incident he had when he had his encounter with the ghost of Engine 260 a few years ago.
Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh no! Oh no! Fuck! Fuck! God damn it, there's lore? No! Fuck. Fuck, I already hate this. God, why am I pushing myself to do this? Why? No, why is there lore? We're literally 38 minutes into this. In a 3-hour movie.
Now that's some story to tell. It's almost rare for engines like Gordon to experience stuff like that. Seeing some lights and thinking another engine was on
What the fuck? Why does James so fuckable?
the same track as you? I almost find it hard to believe.
That's what he told us.
Yo, James got this Sigma male at. Yo, James is a Sigma male.
I said last night, Gordon thought he saw another engine on the same line as him, but never collided into anything. Henry thinks he was hallucinating.
Hallucinating? That's what the others said to me when I told them about that unknown engine on the Kirk Ronan branch last year. But they didn't believe me.
The story of 311 really has gotten under my frames lately. If it's really here on our railway, then who knows what will happen to us. But some say that this is only just a made-up fantasy tale to just give us a scare.
I wouldn't say that if I were you, ma'am. Hello there, Emily and James. Tell me, what's all this going on Sodo about a ghost train from the United...
I love how there's like a mixture with like 3D faces and 2D faces, and then there's no faces at all. It's just that crammed together, babe.
United States? I've been hearing about it non-stop from my driver and fireman ever
I mean, Scotland has been in the United States.
since I woke up this morning.
It's something about an engine who doesn't have a name, only a number, 311. And something else called the Clinchfield Curse.
That ghost engine, you say? Did Gordon see it?
He claims that he did the night before, but no one believes him.
Well, I do.
Really?
Yes. He told me about it just before I left Knapford, and I was quite surprised, to say the least. I've not heard about the Clinchfield Curse in a very, very long time. My brother's not the only one who has seen the ghost. I too have seen her.
You have?
Yes, it happened during my American tour in the USA in 1969. I was visiting the Clinchfield for a few days. One cloudy day, as I prepared to leave for my morning run to continue my tour outside Dayton Sheds, I heard an unknown whistle. And then I saw a sight that I've kept hidden away ever since. I saw her. Clinchfield 311. She looked terrifying, with red smoke coming out of her funnel and her cylinders in the color of blood itself. But what I found strange about it is that even though she was looking at me in a very menacing way, she did not see me as a threat or that my number was not the same as hers. She said I was way too famous for the likes of her to take.
God damn it! Looking back at this and then looking at StreamYard literally blinds me. Oh my god, it's so dark. You know what? Turn on the fucking lights.
But I thought I was really going to. However, 311 told me that she had tried to find closure and to cross the bridge from where she had fallen, but was unable to reach the other side. I can remember responding back to her, even though I was shaking within my frames and sensed that I was looking at death in the face. I told her that sometime in the future she would break free and find peace, and this curse that she had would be lifted. But in her response, 311 gave me a cold stare before she blew her whistle.
She doesn't have a base. Well, where is the death? Where's the death stare?
And left before simply vanishing into thin air. Later, one of the other American engines came over and saw the expression of fear on my face. It didn't take too long for them to find out that I had an encounter with the Demon 311. That day has never left my mind, but what makes it more worse, I never told my former owner, Alan Pegler, all about it. I wish I had done before he passed away in March 2012 at the age of 91 after a short illness. I regret it deeply. I really do. Have any of you seen the Ghost Train?
No, Emily, and I haven't. At least not yet. I haven't seen it, and Now I don't even want to. I could get sent to some scrapyard and meet my end there.
From what our American visitors told us, she comes at night at any time, but mostly on the day of the accident on Halloween.
I see. I wonder if this could be the time that 311 lets go of herself and move on.
News of Gordon and Oliver's encounter spread down the line, but no one believed it, and it soon became a great joke to Henry.
And who's to say the big, proud engine like Gordon and a proud Great Western engine like Oliver becomes afraid of something that's not there? That's so out of character.
Shut
Say it, Henry.
said Henry. What they saw was real. Had you been there, you would have believed it.
I took the story of Timothy seriously, but all this about an American locomotive that we know nothing about, that I find hard to believe. Seriously, we're over on the other side of the world, and another engine from the United States is able to appear on our line. That's just complete, utter nonsense.
Well then, if you don't believe it, then why don't you go and see for yourself?
Henry just dismissed the thought and went to collect the flying kipper from Tidmouth Harbor.
Be careful of the lights, Gordon. They might get you.
What's this about lights, Percy?
Oh, it's nothing, Edward. Gordon apparently said he saw lights on the tracks last night, but he was the only one who saw them.
Did you say lights?
Yeah, it's a bag of baloney, really. Everyone's saying Gordon was hallucinating. Even his own crew doesn't believe it.
Lights. I wonder if... I'll need to ask Gordon about what he really saw.
Hey, what's with the hold up?
Bruh.
I'm afraid to bring this to you, chap, but it seems the ship that is delivering
Right,
the fish
bitch.
here is late. It'll be here within another hour.
Perfect. Is there anything else that can go wrong?
It was dark by the time the ship arrived to drop off its load. The men hustled in loading the trucks with the crates of fish. The last door banged. The guard showed his green lamp,
The flying kipper was ready to go.
and the flying kipper was ready to leave.
It's go, you stupid fuck.
About time.
His speed reduced, Henry approached the viaduct. But as he started to cross it, he could see a bright light shining ahead of him.
Stop! There's another engine on the same line! The Demon 311! No! It can't be true!
Henry was so shaken up, his face looking pale with only the rain and mist remaining after seeing the ghost engine vanish before him. The following morning, the big green engine was still looking pale. At the coaling plant, he told Gordon about what he saw last night. He was amazed and took this very seriously. Later that day, Gordon met up with Edward at Marin Station with a local train.
Hey, Gordon, I heard you saw strange lights on the main line 2 nights ago.
I'm not too sure. As I said before, they are rather close to each other. But I think I got a glimpse of an upside-down triangle, or something like that. What I could tell you is that for sure I know the locomotive's whistle sounded American.
Do you think it was 311?
It was, Edward, but at the time, I wasn't completely sure about it. But still, I wouldn't only known it was 311 if I saw the number. Thanks to what Ariel, David, Louise, told me and Oliver were so lucky to be alive. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. Henry had an encounter of the ghost train last night, and he was terrified almost out of his frames. Just like me and Oliver. He wasn't taken or didn't vanish without a trace. Do you think perhaps this ghost engine is after one of us?
It's too early to tell, but I've not seen the 311 in person yet. As you know, ever since the whole Timothy ordeal 2 years ago, the story was brought up by our American visitors, and this time it's one of their own ghost trains. Something tells me we're dealing with something much bigger than what happened when Timothy was here.
Oh, don't even remind me of that.
News of Henry's sighting of 311 spread down the line, but many of the people of Sodor thought it was still a made-up fairy tale. Halloween was just days away, and preparations were being made for the event that was to be held. As early evening fell, most of the engines had returned to the sheds to get some sleep. Unfortunately, some of them had to do extra work or make some deliveries during the night, whether they liked it or not. At Crovan's gate, a small rain shower had come over. Luis was waiting with a freight special which was being loaded with oil drums, vegetables, and other cargo materials. Peter Sam had been waiting with his train for the Cedric Flyer to arrive. Soon enough, Flying Scotsman arrived with Tornado, double-heading the train with their last passengers, running a few minutes late due to some faulty signals and some troublesome trespassers. Luis noticed the famous A3 and the A1. It was her first time seeing them in person, even though she had heard of them from TV and social media. So you're the famous engine I've heard so much about. It's a pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure's all mine, madam. This is indeed an unexpected meeting, I have to say, even for Tornado.
The only thing that's ruined this is this bloody rain.
Oh, my sincere apologies there. Tornado is not quite fond of the rain. She prefers warmer skies and sunny weather, although we do need a major cool down after all that intense heat that we've had all summer this year.
It might not be bad, but it's much worse over on the mainland where the bigger rain showers are.
We've had worse. There was that one time when the Skarloey Railway suffered a major washout during the winter in 1961. Back when around the time before I had my new funnel.
So,
what is happening? What did I miss? What is happening? I literally just gave up and went up to Uppy Blues like community tab and just like looked at it. I'm just on his community tab. There's so much useless shit here, which I don't care about. I don't care.
How are you finding your visit on Soda, I may ask?
It's been great. We'll tell the others back in the States when we get home. This railway is full of wonder and joy with so many people, especially from those from the UK who really admire what America's steam engines are like when compared to theirs. However, we've mentioned about the ghost story of the Clinchfield curse, which we promised not to, but I did by accident when the engines were asking about anything supernatural on our railroads.
The Clinchfield curse?
What's that about? None of us nano-game engines have ever heard it before.
Flying Scotsman decided to tell Peter Sam about it since Luis felt too reluctant. He told him that he learned about the story during his USA tour after he had his first sighting of 311's ghost while on a visit on the Clinchfield. But then he brought up another memory that soon came back to him.
I don't know how I'm able to remember this, but by golly I do. It was the day before Sir William McAlpine rescued me to return me back home to the UK in 1973. I was in storage at a US Army base to be kept away from unpaid creditors. At that time, I was heartbroken after Alan Pegler left me after he was forced to file bankruptcy. My 10 years of being with him was over. I was in a state of fear, for I felt I would never return home. While I was there, alone and mostly upset, I heard 311's whistle. And before I knew it, she was right there in front of me. At that point, I just wanted it to be over and meet my end this way, rather than remaining in America or being broken up for scrap. But 311 didn't do so, refusing to claim me as a victim, still seeing I was not a threat. She got closer to me, her buffers almost touching mine. She told me that I must leave and never return to America, and if I was, which is not likely to now, she would not resist in taking me. Then, while still looking at me coldly and menacingly, she disappeared, leaving a strong but strange and nasty smell in her wake, which was much dirtier than diesel oil itself. It turned out to be a horrible stench of oil and smoke. The following day, I left and headed for Oakland, where I would make my triumphant return to the UK. That was my last encounter with the 311. Had she taken me, I would not be here today to talk about it. As I said to Emily and James yesterday, I never told anyone about it until just recently. And I still deeply regret it that I didn't tell Alan Pegler, Sir William McAlpine, or Dr. Tony Marsington about it. Even now, to this very day, it still haunts me that I can still smell that dreadful stench 311 left behind.
God, she farted.
Y'all were very lucky, Scotsman. At least you didn't end up like Clinchfield 3613.
Clinchfield who?
Who's 3613?
Y'all don't know who 3613 was? Well, he was an SD 45-2 diesel serving the Clinchfield before being passed down to CSW to handle the heavy freight duties. I didn't know him that well, but from those who did, they told me he kept himself to himself and wasn't much of a talker. But one thing was for sure, 3613 was a hard worker and very useful, and he didn't care if steam or diesels were better, and whatever task was given, he would do it. Sadly, he was one of the early victims of the Clinchfield curse.
How did that happen?
The year was October 31st, 1960. CSW was still running at the time before it was taken over by CSX Transportation in the 1980s. Former Clinchfield 3613 departed with a freight train from the large marshalling yards at Tidewater during a heavy thunderstorm at 8 o'clock p.m. The conditions that night were similar to that of when 311 made her fatal run 3 years before, but unlike that night, no flash floods occurred. .3613 traveled along the line making good progress, but according to the story, he stopped halfway across the bridge, hearing the sound of what sounded like a steam engine wailing out in the distance. His crew could hear it too. Then the engine appeared before them, and their worst fears were realized. It was the ghost of Clinchfield 311. Overwhelmed by fear, 3613 got caught in her grasp and suddenly vanished with no trace of his or his crew's existence. Michael, one of the Challenger-class engines from the Union Pacific, went out to search for him. When he got to the last known position of 3613, nothing was there. But what was there was an awful stench of oil and smoke, and then he left to report the situation. 311's ghost had appeared.
Get out of here. Leave before I send you to hell.
Caught with the fear of being taken, Michael retreated and later told me everything and what had caused the mysterious loss of 3613. It was there that I became aware of the Clinchfield curse.
Will that ghost be able to take us narrow gauge engines?
I don't think she wouldn't want anything to do with you narrow gauge engines. Besides, you're too small to fall victim to her curse, and so you're basically no threat.
Just to be the thick of 311 and a curse is now making me feel very uncomfortable.
We're literally now an hour into this shit, and I don't care what's happening. Oh my gosh. How did I put myself through this? Okay.
Please, Scotsman, let's go and head to our sheds. I can't bear it any longer.
Okay, just calm down, Tornado. I'm here for you so that nothing will happen. Even if the ghost engine was to appear, she'll quickly see that you do not have the same number as hers, nor will you become a victim and join the list of those she's taken over the years.
Tornado was still shaken in fear, but she soon calmed down. After another few minutes of talking, the guard from Peter Sam's train blew his whistle, and Peter Sam departed, still in thought about the subject of 311, shortly followed by Flying Scotsman and Tornado's train. The weather had improved by 5 o'clock a.m. the next morning. Peter Sam and Sir Handel were beginning to prepare for their early morning work by taking some trucks to the slate mine when an unknown whistle was heard, followed by a ringing bell that woke up the others from their slumber.
Sir Handel, what was that? Whose whistle did we just hear?
For sure it wasn't Gordon's. And from the sound of its tone, it's American, but how could that be? How's that possible?
Wait a minute. It's coming close. I can see the color of light, and...
Who in the name of rock and roll was that?
What the... No, wait. That can't be the...
It is! That was the ghost of 311! Louise and the Flying Scotsman told me all about it yesterday! Hey? What was that?
That sounded like my own whistle, but it's not. It sounds more like...
Sir Handel then thought he could see the shape of an engine in the distance. The engine's shape was similar to his own, but then it vanished. He went silent once again, this time unable to say a word as he and Peter Sam headed off to the slate mine.
It's almost unbelievable, but the legend is true.
Indeed it is. But what bothers me is how can a ghost train like that from a faraway country like America make it here on Sodor? I guess we'll never know. This is just as scary than what I saw on that old damn bridge.
During the day, news about this spread down the line. When it reached the thin controller, he was almost stunned to the skin of his teeth. He phoned the fat controller and wanted to arrange a small gathering with those who had seen the ghost of 311. He agreed, and later that afternoon, everyone came together to explain their encounters with the ghost train.
As you all know, both the main and narrow gauge railway have seen what looks to be the ghost of an American locomotive without a name, only going by the number 311. From what information says about this phantom, it is from the other side of the world. In the United States, from Black Wolf Mountain on the Black Wolf Central, that CSX transportation now runs, running on the route where it had an accident a long time ago in 1957. However, none of us here on Sodor ever knew about this story until now, and those who have seen this ghost, human and engines alike, have come forward to telling that 311 is here and been wandering around the tracks. We cannot be sure why it's here since we had nothing to do with the accident. But one thing is for sure, it's causing havoc on the railway network, not to mention confusion and delay. This has to stop before Sodor's people and visitors think the worst, and remain not to come back to our island in the future.
However, the ghost of 311 has been said to appear only on Halloween, the anniversary of its accident. But with Halloween only just a few days away, it has been coming much earlier than normal.
While this was going on, David, Luis, Ariel, Luke, and Jason noticed something nearby. There in the sightings, watching cold and silent, was Clinchfield 311 herself. Then, as if like magic, she disappeared.
Do you think she heard everything?
I shudder to think, David.
Likewise. Just even seeing her in that dark and cold form almost makes me unable to say or think. As far as I'm concerned, she was watching us, and perhaps is preparing to target us as a punishment. After all these years, we'll fall victim to her. One by one, we'll fall and be casted into hell, just like those that came before us. I'm telling you guys, she hasn't changed ever since we've had our encounters with her over the years. She's still taking and killing innocent people and engines, no matter who.
She's been swallowed by the darkness and evil within her since her demise. It's just like my driver told me. The fever, the rage, the feeling of powerlessness that turns good men and engines cruel.
Something tells me that 311 is up to something, but I highly doubt she's plotting to add the engine to Sodor to her list of victims she's taken over the years. Or perhaps she's decided to leave and return to where she came from, back to Black Wolf Mountain, where she met her fate 6 decades ago.
All know and remember. But they pretend it never happened. Only thinking it's a made-up story. Those who have seen what I am in this steely form of hate, they all suffered a terrible demise because they were disturbing my place of rest. My story has been told time and time again. My legend of
Oh my god, pass on! Oh my god! No one gives a shit. No one cares. Shut up.
anger has struck within the hearts of everyone. Those engines on the small island are thinking right now. Why am I here?
Not again!
Why am I here on this railway, which is not a part of even Noah?
Fucking hell.
I'm here to only further spread my story, running as a warning to let everyone know that if once they see me, they must always remember me. I'm only on the hunt for engines who carry the same number as mine. To me, it's disrespectful, and they will perish because of it, never to be seen again.
Bitch! Okay. This story is completely oh, yeah. Fuck it. I'm gonna just quit. I quit. Oh my fucking gosh. Like, oh my god. Bitch, it's not it's literally not their fault that they were literally fucking built with that number in mind. Oh my god. You know what? Fuck it. Fuck this stream. I'm out.